Race 5 at Belmont jumps at 2:50. It's the happy 60th birthday Diane Williams handicap over 1,600 metres, and we'll have a look at the first up performance of Friar Fox.
Terms at the top of the straight. They're a length and a half now. Two clear. They've quickened from Maginica. Friar Fox is starting to let down very well. Further back, Battle Talk and Mystery Miss still about 4 from the leader. Mrs. Brown's Boy at the 150. Shook off Nawadaroo, Maginica, Friar Fox, Battle Talk, Mrs. Brown's Boy giving. Mrs. Brown's Boy holds on. Battle Talk dives late. Oh, I don't think so, Mrs. Brown's Boy.
Friar Fox actually returned with the personal best performance on ratings, which was quite interesting considering that the horse just seemed to peak with about 200 metres to go, and obviously just coming into that event with the one trial probably needed a little bit of fitness on its side. It stays at the distance, it's got gate 2 which looks nice and soft for it, and all things considered, if it gets that clear passage in the straight, you would imagine it would be strong again through the line. Second pick is the 11, which is Pagan Image. I thought it was a huge improvement there, second up from the horse. It was restrained back towards last or third last, started a really wide run coming around the turn. It was about 5 wide coming in towards the straight and just seemed to peak with about 50 or so metres to go. But obviously the horse itself is back in good order. Third pick is the 14, Send My Love. It jumped well, settled just forward of midfield, the horse, before it was shuffled back throughout the race and just needed that clear run in the straight, never really got it. Willie Pike's jumping on board, and again the horse seems to map pretty well from gate 3. And then fourth pick is the 6 Resistance, who just always seems to be running on. It will need a little bit of luck from gate 1, but if it gets that split in the straight, you can imagine it will be there at the finish. On top in race 5 is the 2 Friar Fox from 11 Pagan Image, 14 Send My Love and 6 Resistance. Race 6 at Belmont jumps at 3:25. It's the listed HG Bolton Sprint over 1,200 metres, and we'll have a look at the most recent trial of Lockroy.
With This Away in the straight, Free Trade's got a massive lead, trying to close in Love with Paris, and is doing that now with nice easy strides along the inside. Coming from the back is This Away. Lockroy's still there, and down the outside is Luke Skull starting to run on. In Love with Paris trying to chase down Free Trade. Free Trade the leader. In Love with Paris is going to drive at it, take the lead, and In Love with Paris will get up and beat Free Trade by half a head. 2 lengths away in third.
It was a nice trial there from Lockroy. It jumped well, just a little bit of restraint into third, but it just went to the line under a pretty strong hold, I thought. If we go back through previous preparations, the horse has fired well first up, so I'm expecting another good fresh performance. The horse looks to get into a good position from gate 2, and Shooter McGrady should have it handy in the first 4 runners. So it goes on top for me at an each way price from the 10 Valor Road, who has been doing everything right this preparation. It's had that stint over in Adelaide, come back and trialled particularly well under a hold. If it can handle the heavy conditions, especially if a lot of rain's fallen by now, that's probably the only query for me. Third pick is the 3, which is Electric Light. This horse will love the wet track, but also we saw last start, it ended up last in a small field. It ran the fastest 600 and 400 of the day, and also the second best overall performance. And then fourth pick is the 2 Market Ruler, who actually ran the best overall performance of that card, over 1,000 metres, was 3 wide without cover. I have a small query of it going up in distance against some of the better seasoned horses and also better 1,200 metre horses, but the horse itself has to be respected. On top in race 6 is 4 Lockroy from 10 Valor Road, 3 Electric Light and 2 Market Ruler. Race 7 at Belmont jumps at 4 o'clock. It's the Warroa Belmont Guineas, the listed race over 1,600 metres, and we'll have a look at the most recent performance of Flirtini.
The outside Diablerie Rock on Tommy trying to make some ground into the home straight though. A real test of attrition. Great again, surging to the lead though. Put paid to the Velvet King. He's gone for home. Great again, kicks away. Flirtini is starting to run on very well. She's starting to cut the margin down. Great again, Flirtini cutting back to the inside. Great again, kept going though. Really responding for Hall. Too good. Fabulous first up win. Boy, that was tough. Great again.
It was a great effort there from Flirtini. It was obviously very difficult to make up ground in that abominable conditions there behind Great Again, but the horse returned the fastest 200 of the race, which I think is a pretty good indication that it can handle a bit of a wet track as well. I'm not expecting conditions like that this Saturday, but any rain will obviously hand it a nice position in running from gate 6, and it should be going strong through the line. The horse has had an excellent preparation. Second pick is the 9 Mystery Miss, gets blinkers on for the first time here. It was slow away and just content to be a back marker there last start, but had a lot of momentum going around the course, ran a nice last 800 and was the best of the line over the 400 and 400 to 200 metre splits in that event. So if it gets a bit of luck from gate 8, Willie Pike's obviously chosen the horse because of the barrier. It should put itself just into a midfield or so position. Third pick is the stablemate, True Attraction. He's probably picked that horse just over the fact it's had a slightly better barrier than True Attraction, who you'd imagine would be out last. But look, the horse itself seemed to relish conditions there last start, seemed to be doing it all for fun, and if it gets a bit of momentum coming around the corner, you can imagine it flying home to grab a place. And then fourth pick is the 11 Flower of War, who will be out there in front bowling along. If it finds the actual lead as opposed to Gates of Babylon, I'd be even more confident. But if it settles outside the leader, it might just have a little bit of difficulty holding on at the end. On top in race 7 is the 7 Flirtini from 9 Mystery Miss, 1 True Attraction and 11 Flower of War. That brings us to the last. It's race 8 at Belmont, jumping at 4:40. The Glenroy Chaff handicap over 1,400 metres. And for our horse and focus, we'll have a look at Great Again, last seen at Belmont.
The outside Diablerie Rock on Tommy trying to make some ground. Into the home straight though. A real test of attrition. Great Again surging to the lead though. Put paid to the Velvet King. He's gone for home. Great Again kicks away. Flirtini is starting to run on very well. She's starting to cut the margin down. Great Again. Flirtini cutting back to the inside. Great Again kept going though. Really responding for Hall. Too good. Fabulous first up win. Boy, that was tough. Great Again.
Great Again swum home there, and if there's any rain or if it falls as forecast, up to 35 millimetres of rain, you can imagine it doing something pretty similar. The horse itself is drawn perfectly from gate 4. It should just jump towards the front and just bowl along out there in front in what should be pretty wet conditions by the end of the day at Belmont. So if it gets something similar, it should be pretty hard to beat. Second pick is the 7, which is Mrs. Brown's Boy. It's another on-speed horse. It's just drawn a bit awkwardly out there in 14, but it also handles soft conditions, so I'm not sure there'll be any issue with that horse being able to be strong through the line. It's just hit that purple patch, and Alan Kennedy's back on board for the Annie King stable. Third pick is the 11 Military Ruler. Landed midfield, it peeled and was really strong to the line there in its first up event in quite a number of days. The horse itself just might need that little bit more luck in this event, and also just second up, I wonder if it just has that little bit more fitness to come. And then fourth pick is the 12, which is Settlers Creek. Wouldn't be surprised to see this horse run a bit of a race. Last start, it got back to 4 back to fence, was shuffled to last on the turn, still ran home a really nice last 400 and last 200. So if it gets that little bit more of a cosy run from barrier 5, I think it can fill a minor placing. On top in race 8 is 3 Great Again from 7 Mrs. Brown's Boy, 11 Military Ruler and 12 Settlers Creek. Best bets at Belmont, race 5, number 2 Friar Fox and race 7, number 7 Flirtini. That's all for us here at Perth Racing. If you'd like to keep up to date, stay in touch via our website or social media. Until next time on The Box Seat, I'm Pete Anthonys. Good punting and go well.